What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tomatoito Boxing Show. Jamel Herring once again. 5 years. 5 years since I last run into you.
It's been a while, huh?
And look at you. Last time when I met you, you were actually prepping for Carl Frampton.
Yes.
To defend that title.
Yes.
We were breaking that fight down. Here you are, new sport, about to make history tomorrow night. God willing, you'll be the second man in BKFC history to go from boxing champion to BKFC champion. Second to Austion Trout, right?
So yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing just to even still be here doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Now it's time to go to work.
How's the training? How has the training been different for you? How did you approach it when you first started, and how have you adapted to it now? How have you adjusted?
No different really. Still, like I said, I'm working with Henry Ramirez. The only difference we probably did was bring in maybe some MMA fighters for sparring. But other than that, we still do the same thing we do in boxing.
What about the hands? That's the
that's the only change. But you know, once that adrenaline gets pumping, you really don't feel it till afterwards. You know what I mean? But other than that, I never had hand issues in boxing. Thank God, Lord willing, it stays that way. But again, it's more like you gotta pick and choose your shots.
What? Tell me where the inspiration came from. Where did that chip come from that you're like, all right, I'm gonna jump in? Because you took a little time off after boxing, and then all of a sudden you jump in. Now we're seeing a whole flood of former boxers, Victor Ortiz, John Molina, Paulie Malignaggi. They're jumping in, and here you are.
I think it came from, like I said, Austin Trout. I seen Austin having a blast with it. I reached out to him, got a few pointers from him. How, same thing you asked me, hands, how it feels, the difference. Pretty much told me the same thing I just told you. You know what I mean? But other than that, I started becoming a fan of it. I started just watching it more and more, and I was like, you know what? Let me reach out to see if I can do this as well.
The reason I launched to come cover this, and I've covered another BKFC event before, I noticed that it's MMA heavy and MMA press and media heavy, no boxing presence. Right. And last time I was the only boxing channel, and here I am again, the only boxing channel present.
And we're grateful for that, man. We're grateful for that.
And the reason why, to me, it's so important is because of the foundation, right? It's more attached to boxing than it is to MMA.
I mean, we try to, but you can't say that out too loud because they'll argue with you saying that, it's different. Like, I mean, yes, it's a different sport, but a lot of the fundamentals come from boxing. I mean, boxing started out as bare knuckle. People forget that at times.
Yes. Yeah, the old Queensberry rules, right? Mm-hmm. What can we expect from you tomorrow? I know that obviously we're going for the win, we're going for the history, but you got a 10-day change in opponent, right? It was Madness originally. Right. Talk to me about this new opponent. What have you been able to detail out?
Anytime you get a new opponent with a big opportunity, you gotta expect them to come out dangerous. Simple as that. You can't expect him to come off the couch as a slouch. You know what I mean? He obviously must be in some shape if you feel confident enough to take the fight. But like I said, I expect him to come out dangerous in the first couple of rounds. But again, I have to just keep my head on tight and just keep my composure together and just do what I do best.
The strategy is obviously different, right? Shorter rounds, shorter fight length,
faster pace,
and then obviously the no gloves and the bare knuckle aspect of it. You got to be a lot more careful. You can't really go in there, and I guess the strategy changes completely, right?
Yeah, you have to basically everything on the fly, man. You have to learn to make those adjustments on the fly. So that's what I can say. And plus, in boxing, you may want to start out 2 or 3 rounds to get warmed up. You can't do that in BKFC.
That's true. I understand the Bomac link that you had there back in the day, and then your link to Manny Robles. Because of the Olympics, right?
Right.
What linked you to Henry Ramirez?
Oh, that came from my manager, Jerry Casares, man. He's been close with Henry. Henry's always been a great trainer in my opinion. So it was just an easy fix. It was an easy pitch. Henry's been great. We had a great outcome in our last fight, and here we are again going for our first world title together.
And you could definitely put your finger on the styles as per coaches, right? Very technical as Manny Robles, Robert Garcia. You definitely got that explosiveness. Henry Ramirez also very explosive with Chris Arreola in the past. Is this something that you've been working on, the explosiveness, or how has your style blended?
Honestly, Henry hasn't really changed me much. We just add a few things and we tweak a few things also. So that's been great because sometimes you get with a new trainer and they try to completely change it. But Henry, we worked on a few things. He has a great game plan. We had a great game plan in the last fight. We have a great game plan in this fight that we plan on implementing. So we just make the adjustments as we go along each round.
I noticed from boxing, you were always very methodical. You used to adapt to the style of the opponent as they brought it to you, right? Your first fight here in BKFC and your successful victory, right? I noticed that you were more of the counter puncher. You were more. You weren't so much hesitant, but you were not really waiting on them. You were just picking those shots apart.
Letting it
you
flow.
Saw the openings.
Exactly. You got to. Sometimes you got to take what your opponent gives you. sometimes you got to create your own opening. So like I said again, in the first 10, 15 seconds, I know that I got to do in there tomorrow, and you'll see where we go from there.
Jamel, send us out. What a pleasure it is to catch up with you once again. 5 years,
Yes.
5 years in the making. And send us out. How do fans continue to follow your journey now in this brand new journey of yours?
I mean, you guys can find me at Jamel Herring, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook. And I'm easy going. So, and I appreciate everybody who's been following along my career this whole entire time. Thank you, and God bless you all.
God willing, brand new champ tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you. Jamel Herring, everybody.